Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. It massively helps. Please give it give me support. And then if you like the video that I'm about to do, that I'm doing, please push that thumbs up button and push that notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. Today, I want to talk about the Community Shield this upcoming Saturday. Um, Manchester City versus Liverpool. I know most of you probably don't care about it because it is still like a preseason game. It's not necessarily a competitive game, but it is like kind of the first game of the season that has significance. Like there'll be a trophy that's handed out, just the Charity Shield. I know it doesn't mean much. Obviously, if you win it, you're happy because it's a trophy. It's a great way to start the season, to start the new season. But yeah, so I just want to talk about the Community Shield, give my prediction, and yeah. So obviously, I was watching the thingy. I was watching the preseason games. Even though I didn't really watch the other games, like with regards to Liverpool games and stuff like that, I only watched the Manchester City games. So we played Club America in the US, and then we also played Bayern Munich. In both games were really good. So like the fitness levels of the players were really good. De Bruyne really looked sharp. And then I think Bernardo Silva was a little bit way off. Like Bernardo Silva relies a lot on kind of his fitness because he kind of runs about like around the pitch non-stop. So maybe it will take him some time to get his fitness. But we're also missing some players during that American tour because Phil Foden, Gundogan, and John Stones didn't travel with the team because of COVID restrictions. The Americans, like, they want you to get, I think, to be double vaccinated and to be boosted in order to travel to the US. So Phil and John and Ilkay were not like, I think Ilkay was only half vaccinated because like he only got one dose because he got COVID after he got like one dose, and then his doctor advised him not to get to get the second jab during the new season. So then, well, not during the new season, like during the season, which was last season. And then he was planning on getting one in the summer, so like right now. But then he got COVID again, and then his doctor said, well, he shouldn't get it. He should get it like midway through next season. Well, this upcoming season that's going to start next week. So that's why I didn't travel. And then I like John and Phil didn't they didn't meet the requirements like they didn't meet the travel requirements of the US. I don't know what that means, but that's what the club said. So like obviously those guys are not part of the team. They went to Croatia with the under 23s. So I would not be surprised if none of them starts against Liverpool. Since like the other guys have been training like with the team since the team returned 3 weeks ago, I think. So I think if I were to kind of predict a lineup, I know Pep is a very difficult manager to kind of predict what he's going to do because he's always kind of changing his team and changing his formation and all of that type of stuff. So I think though the team against Liverpool, I think because it's like kind of like it's a chance to win a trophy. It's a chance to start the new season on a good note. So I think we'll go like with a strong team. So I think Edison is gonna start obviously in goal, and then Walker is probably gonna play right back, and then Diaz is gonna play. I think Diaz is gonna play with Ake because at the minute Laporte is injured, so Laporte is not gonna play, and then Stones only like returned with the team like on Monday because they didn't travel. Like he was part of the that didn't travel to the US. So I think because Ake and Diaz played in America, I think Pep is gonna play them, and then Cancelo is gonna start at left back, and then I think Rodri is gonna start as the holding midfielder, and then De Bruyne is gonna start as the eight, and then the other person, Bernardo Silva, is gonna start as the other eight, and I think Morris is gonna start on the right, and Haaland is gonna start as the number nine, and then Grealish is gonna start on the left. I think like Grealish is already kind of friends with Haaland, and they seem to like each other. And Grealish gave him like the assist for his first goal against Bayern Munich. So I think Pep is gonna try and keep that going. But obviously, don't be surprised if Grealish doesn't start and Phil Foden starts, or Morris doesn't start and Phil Foden starts, because Pep is kind of like always changing. Um, but also, don't be surprised if Haaland doesn't start, because there's also one of our new signings. So this off season, we signed Calvin Phillips, Haaland, and then Stefan Ortega was a goalkeeper. Maybe like most of you are not gonna know him. And then also we signed Julian Alvarez. Now Julian Alvarez played in Argentina. He played in the Argentinian league, and he also played like in the Copa Libertadores. I think that's what it's called. That's what it's called. Forgive me if I kind of named it the wrong way, but he was very impressive. I think he was player of the tournament for Copa Libertadores, whatever the thing is. And he also plays with like Argentina. He was part of the team that won the Copa America with Argentina, I think, last year. So he's a very like highly rated young striker, pretty good finisher as well. I watched his clips like on YouTube. He's a pretty good finisher. I know obviously playing and like YouTube is kind of like two different things, but I think he's a very good striker, and he kind of like he's more of he's kind of like a clone of Gabriel Jesus, in that he likes the like the hustle and bustle, like whereby he's kind of he's pressing all the time. He's like a pest basically. So he always wants to press the defenders and all of that type of stuff. So I think he has a good chance to start as well, because he kind of impressed in that American tour. Because he like Pep likes players that like to work hard. So like immediately, if you're a player that does that, you kind of like you get his attention. So I think Alvarez could start as well, or he could come off the bench, because I think Haaland is not yet like kind of like at peak fitness. Not that like most players are probably not at peak fitness, but we're trying to be very careful with Haaland, because at Dortmund he did play a lot of games and he got injured quite a bit. So I think Pep is just trying to be extra careful, because we're kind of gonna need him in the season. If we are to win the Premier League again, hopefully we do. But yeah, so I think that's kind of like my predicted lineup. I think the positions that are in question with regards to maybe someone else might start instead of the ones that I've said is like obviously the left wing or the striker or the right wing. But I think it is going to be Grealish, Haaland, and Mahrez. Yeah. And then with regards to Liverpool, I haven't really watched Liverpool during the off season. Obviously they signed Darwin Núñez to kind of replace Mane. And then I think uh, obviously I think they lost their last preseason game against Salzburg. But I didn't watch that game, so I don't know with regards to whether I'm gonna get their predicted lineup right. But I think their front three is gonna be Luis Diaz on the left, and then Darwin Núñez as the striker, and then Salah on the right. And then I think obviously Trent is going to start at right back, and then Van Dijk is going to start at centre back. Now, whether Van Dijk is going to start with Konate or Gomez or Matip is kind of like a flip of the coin. I don't know really. So probably Matip or Konate. I'm not sure. And then Robertson is going to start off the left. Then Allison is going to start in goal. And I think Fabinho is going to start as the DM. And then Thiago and probably Henderson are going to start as the midfielders. Yeah, I might get it wrong. I don't know. You might give maybe Fabio Carvalho is also a new signing a chance. I don't know. So I think that's the team that are going to start. Obviously, it's going to be a highly competitive game. It's always great when Klopp plays with plays against Guardiola. It's kind of like two masterminds meeting, and it's kind of who's going to get the best, who's going to get the better of the other one. I think obviously, like when we played Liverpool last season, we played two games against Liverpool. Played at Anfield and at the Etihad, both in the Premier League. In my opinion, I think we were better than Liverpool in both those games, even though we didn't win really, because it was a two. Both games were 2-2 draws. But I think the reason why we didn't win is because we kind of lacked finishing. There was a lot of time last season whereby we kind of dominated other teams, but we didn't beat them because we created like 10 chances and only scored 2 goals. Whereas if we were a little bit more clinical, which I hope Haaland is going to bring to the club as the striker, we probably would have won. But obviously it's a new season, so you can't use like a result from last season to predict what's going to happen this season. But I think it's going to be a highly competitive game. Obviously, like Klopp's teams always work hard. Pep, obviously his team as well, always works hard. But I think obviously I don't want to be biased or whatever with regards to like who's gonna win and stuff like that. But I think it's gonna be a 2-1 City win. Um, who's gonna score? I don't know who's gonna score, man. I think De Bruyne is gonna score. And then yeah, maybe I don't want to jinx it. Maybe Haaland is gonna score, but I think De Bruyne has really looked sharp. I've really been impressed with him during the preseason tour. He was really good. His fitness levels seem to be really high, so I think he's gonna have a great season this year. I think he's gonna start well against Liverpool. I think we're gonna win the game 2-1, win the Charity Shield. Yeah, and then also like another thing, just probably a last thing before I kind of end the video. The Charity Shield this year or the Community Shield this year is not going to be played at Wembley. Now I don't know. I think I think it's because there's a there's a Euro final. So if you follow like the women's game, well, even if you don't follow it, it's kind of like on Sky Sports because Sky Sports is broadcasting the whole thing. There's currently at the minute the women's Euros are going like the international tournament for the women. So kind of like an equivalent of last year's men's tournament. Um, is also like kind of going on at the minute, and then the final of the women's Euros is this weekend as well. It's at Wembley. It's going to be Germany against England. So that's why the Community Shield is not playing at Wembley this season. It's going to be played at the King Power Stadium, Leicester Citizens Stadium. And the reason why it's not played at Wembley is because of that of the women's Euro finals. That's playing at Wembley, England versus Germany. The women's England national team and the German women's national team. Yeah, I guess that's just about it with regards to the Community Shield. Obviously going to be a great game, great way to start the season. So good luck to Liverpool, and good luck to City as well. Obviously, as I said, I think we're going to win, but it doesn't matter really what I think. We'll see on Saturday who's going to win the game. But yeah, I'll be watching it and I'll kind of like give a feedback when the game ends and talk about things that happened and all of that stuff. Hopefully, no injuries happen for both teams so that we can have a great season. Because I remember we played against Liverpool in the Community Shield in 2019, and like we still had Leroy Sane on our team, and he tore his ACL in the game. So obviously, it's going to be a highly competitive game, but hopefully, nothing happens. Like nothing of that nature happens with regards to injuries. But yeah. Hope you liked the video. Please, if you did, give the video a thumbs up button, and also please subscribe to my channel and push that notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. Thank you for watching.